Hello and welcome to lesson 2 of week 6. In this lesson, we are going to look at how to create a vertical table and look at more table complexities. My name is Mildred. In the last lesson, we created this horizontal table, and I had said previously that this is the easiest kind of table to create. So we're going to create a more complex table. Let's assume that we don't want to differentiate first name and last name. So this column heading will no longer be right. In this case, what we will do is to go back to the heading. And in the heading area, we are going to delete the last name. And we are going to change this heading to name. But this is going to have a problem because we have 4 headings and we have 5 contents to fit into 4 columns. So I'll refresh for you to see what kind of error on a table you will find. So you find it shifts to the left until the last column has no heading because we only have 4 headings. To correct this, you will come to the th tag, the start th tag of the elements that you want to span 2 columns, and we are going to put the Colspan attribute, and we are going to change the number of columns it will span to the number of columns we want it to span, which is 2. When I save this and I refresh my page, this is going to span 2 columns. You can now repeat this for the foot area so that the change will be uniform. So I'm going to change this in the foot part. Refresh my page and I have this name spanning 2 columns. If I had first, middle and last name, I could make it span 3 columns. So now we know the name is Jane Doe, but we don't know if it's first name or last name, but these are the kind of designs. And this is the part where we can have 2 lines of headings, where the first line gives a broad heading and the second line breaks down the headings. So these are the kind of complexities that we can see. So let's try that and see how more complex this table can get. For the heading row, we can have a new row of heading, and we can decide to define new headings here. And in this second definition, we want to separate the names. Let's say we have first name, we have th, and we have last name. But we don't have any new information to put for the date of birth, sex, and the gender identity. In this kind of situation, what you do is to put empty th tag to match the number left out. That is 3. So I'm going to put 3 empty th tags. So I'm just going to paste this, and I have 3 empty. When I save this and I refresh my page, I have a second row of heading this way. So you can create designs, you can design your table in whatever way you want. You just have to reason more logically to see what you want and write down your algorithm of how to get there. So we differentiate first and last name. So in the event where we have first, middle, and last name, this Colspan will be 3, and we'll increase all of this to have the middle name cell. So this is how we use the Colspan attribute in a table. Let's say we want to have a vertical table. So I'm going to delete all of this. And I'll delete the T-foot. For the vertical table, it means I want something like all of the headings here and the content flows here. What I will do at this point is I do not need a T head and a T body because the head and the body are all mixed together. So this is the situation where you just use table row without using a T head and a T body. So I'll close table row. I want to have the heading in the first column of each row. So the first column of each row is going to be a heading. Like in this table, what we had is that the first row of the table is the heading. But now we want to change that to be the first cell in each row is a heading. So we're going to put the heading. And then the next things that will be the content for that heading. So it will be TD like this. So let's say we want to repeat the same table there. We want to have a heading of first name. Now we have 3 patients, and I'm going to copy this 3 times, and I'm going to put the first name of all 3. So we have Jane, we have Brown, and we have a third person who is James. We'll define a new row, and then we want to put their last names. The last name of Jane is Doe. The last name of Brown, we've used Green. And the last name of James we use here is Stone. We also have a row for the date of birth. So put here as date of birth. The date of birth of Jane Doe was January 1st, 1979. That of Brown was August, I think it was 12th, 1980. And that of James was December 2nd, 1960. We also had the row for the sex. We say Jane is female. Jane is female. Brown is intersex. And James is male. We have a last row for gender identity. So I'm going to write the heading here as gender identity. For Jane, we said we do not know. For Brown is male, and for James is male. So we have this created, and we want a vertical table. So we create each row, and we want the first column to hold the heading. We want each of the row to have their first content in the column has the heading. So I'll save this, refresh the page, and let's see what happens. So we have put the heading on the left side and all of the content here. So we want the information to be aligned in columns rather than in rows. In the event where we want to collapse these two, this time we are going to be using Rowspan, no longer Colspan. So I'm going to change this to the Rowspan attribute, and I'm going to put to span 2 of the headings. Because this is spanning 2, I am going to delete this heading here. I will save. We are going to refresh to see what happens. And so we have the first name spanning these two. So I'm going to change it from first name to just name. Save, refresh, and we have name. So for vertical tables, we try to use the Rowspan. Even for horizontal tables, you can use Rowspan, but then it is not for you to span something this way. It's for more complex tables. So as long as you know the attributes that exist for a table, you know the tags and the style, you can always logically reason a design and try to recreate a design no matter how complex it looks. So this is where you want to put in the skills of writing down your algorithm and the steps you wish to follow, or the steps to get there when you use all of these tags. We have created all of this, but the best way to make a table responsive, after setting the width to be 100% so that it covers the screen area completely, you can also set it to be 70%, so it takes 70% of the screen or the viewport. But we can do something like wrap the table within a container like this. And I'm going to end the div after I end the table like this. And then I am going to set the style, but I'll put it inline so that no other style is going to override this style. So I'm going to put the style attribute, and I'm going to put the overflow X property, and I'll set it to auto. Save, refresh, and we have this more responsive. You can't see the effect here, but if we have a situation where we have horizontal bars to see the table completely, this solves that problem of making it responsive. So this is where we end this lesson. Thank you and see you.